You look like something.
I'm quirky. It's fine. Hello.
Hello. We actually got quite a few people waiting in here. Luna and GK, glad to see you both. I trip over the letters GK every time. I don't know why.
No, that is a G. I definitely thought that said okay, so my bad. I'm awake and waiting by.
Star, good to see you.
Tartus Malice.
Yep, good to see you. All right, people are slowly streaming in here, which is nice. As you all can see, the lovely Chaos Squirrel Halloween is joining us again this week.
I actually took my medicine today for once, so we'll see. I'm really bad about taking my ADHD meds.
We'll see if she falls off the stool again.
Hey.
Let the chaos begin. I mean, hello.
Hi, Dragon of the West. And Jade!
Luna's here, Jade's here. I love those glasses with the
Thank you. Oh, you can't even see. I have bows on my socks.
She has
Look
bows.
Look at my bow. Tribe of Apathosin is here to boost you up.
Well, thank you. Always nice to have support. Like that.
And of course, now is the time my phone decides to blow up.
That's why I turned my phone off.
I am Gen Z.
Angela,
thank you. I cannot turn off my phone.
You almost had to force me to have a phone. Let's see.
Hello, Angela.
The TikTok again with those bows.
Hey.
I told you.
Why does everyone think my bow socks are sexy? They're cute. They have bows, and the bows match my glasses. See this? You see this right here? They match. No, I didn't bring the glitter. They wouldn't let me in the house with it.
Nope. We had glitter decontamination.
It's a sad time when I don't have glitter. I mean, my earrings are sparkly, but like... And I'll have to like send a picture to the Discord. I have a whole Hearts Valentine's outfit for tomorrow because it's the Valentine's family, so I had to do a Valentine's outfit, which is what these glasses are for, and I love them.
Which I also want to point out. I don't talk about this too much here on the channel, but by and large, me and the wife don't really do Valentine's Day. But tomorrow for Valentine's Day, we decided we're all going to go down to the gun range.
Pew, 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 pew.
And we're going to unload a lot of ammo downrange and have a good time. And if I'm understanding this correctly, this all Hardy Valentine's outfit, that is what you're wearing to the gun range?
Yeah, he wouldn't let me wear heels to the gun range, though. I have like these cute red pumps that are this red. So these socks are black with red bows. I have white socks with red bows and a black skirt with hearts on it and a black shirt with red hearts, like buttons down. And then there's like black hearts up here that are like shiny. And then I have my beret and this. And I was going to wear my red pumps, and he said no heels at the gun range, so I have to wear Converse.
What? I may actually try to get some pictures and just post a photo shoot of her. Hell, I may try to get footage of her shooting a gun. I don't think you've ever shot a gun, have you?
No, I've shot archery, though.
Okay, so well, that's not too bad then. All right, let's see what we got here.
Is cleansing glitter ever truly possible? No.
Not really, no. I actually have a hat upstairs, the leather one that you all see me wear a lot. It is very, very old. But it's not seen glitter in about 8 years, and there's still glitter on it from the one time it got around glitter.
Hi, Star Gannett and Anthony DeRio.
Hey, good to see you all. Dragon of the West again. You asked those questions that are not really that easy to. But by and large, the multiverse is structured around the concept of balance, and it is also structured around the concept of growth. And it is structured around the concept of growth through difficulties. In other words, in order for something to grow, there has to be a push outside of the comfort zone. So if you're not being challenged, if you're not being pushed outside that comfort zone, if you're not having those difficult times and hard times, you won't grow. And the actual multiverse is actually structured around these concepts. That would be the more general answer that I could give you on that.
Just do a Dark Valentine's. It is, because we're celebrating the Valentine's Day Massacre. That's why we're going to gun range.
Why not wear pumps on the...
I trip over my own 2 feet.
Yeah, she's pretty clumsy, and with casings on the floor. That's just an accident waiting to happen. So no.
Hey, Apophis
Let's see.
sent me.
Ideal of giving doors to each Vedic spirit. Is that a good idea? I figured I'd lay a cool elimination door down in front of me and see which one likes to inhabit it. Are you talking like? Because I know people who in their sanctum give doors to entities, but if you're talking about like a laminated door of some kind where you have like a permanent structure for the entity, you could do that. I mean, I have a few vessel style items in the house. You almost done it already. Yeah, we're not even 6 minutes in, and you almost fell out of the stool already. So yeah, that's very possible. Oh, I love archery. Archery is a
It's so
great
fun.
thing. I actually took survival archery, so I do more longbow and stuff like that because
I shoot recurve.
yeah.
I can't pull a longbow; they're too hard for me.
So.
Peachy!
PG, you made it.
Peachy, look at my glasses. They're new. Have you ever encountered the Hindu Voltic? Oops. Oh, you jump back.
Sorry,
And that's
Click
Discord.
that's the wrong one.
You're looking for the other
There we
tab
go,
on your
found
computer.
it.
There we go.
Have you ever?
Encountered the Hindu Vedic deities. If so, what are they like?
I have encountered a few of them. I can't say I've encountered all of them because there's a freaking lot of them.
It wasn't me, I
What
swear.
did you do?
Something on the stool fell over. It's not
Oh,
my
okay.
fault. I'm just
I know what it was. Don't worry about it. The ones I've worked with, I enjoyed working with. It has been a really long time. I'd have to look back at the notes to get the exact names of which ones, but I can't think of a bad experience I had with them during the times that I was working with them. So that's to me, that counts for something when I have nothing but good memories of it.
Excuse me opening a soda over here.
I drink coffee. She drinks sugar.
I need sugar. It keeps me awake. I spaz out if I have caffeine. And I'm already spazzy enough without it. Let's see. Girth through difficulty. Oh, my lordy.
Mhm.
I'm so pooped. No more difficulty.
Let's see. For protection spell in the door in space. Hey, that's not a bad idea. Let's see. In the 4 3 sprinkles.
I saw a spider upstairs. Does that count?
Spiders are actually a pretty good animal to see at random because they're talking about weaving fate and so taking control of your pathway.
Okay, but it was in the bathroom and it scared me.
Well, I mean, no one gets to, say when they necessarily show up.
Good news is if it scared the poop out of me, I was already in the bathroom. But I was
This
putting
is
on
true.
mascara, and here comes ye giant spider.
Welcome to the South. So, many of you may have actually saw in the title, this was actually called Chaos Squirrel and Aliens. Well, we got the Chaos Squirrel here. The reason we put aliens, and I know a lot of you question me about aliens, but I don't really tend to talk about them too actively here on the channel. And a lot of that's because of the way a lot of things are structured. And how almost religiously some people get about aliens. However, with the post of the scientific method concept in Magick and whatnot, we were also looking through a lot of new information and stuff that came our way. And one of the things that we was looking at was you can stop now. That there are a lot of interesting unsolved sighting style things that I would like to look into more. And as I'm looking into these, I would actually like to start sharing them on here. Now, I want to make it very, very clear. As I'm going to share this stuff, it will be more under a critical line of thinking in which we're going in skeptical. Let's just be honest. We're going in full on skeptical anytime we review these. In fact, since she's been here, her and I's already watched a couple of little documentary things where we did very much approach it skeptical. They're showing stuff up, like the early teasers, and her and I was already tearing apart the evidence, which we
Even
enjoyed.
though I love Mothman.
Yeah,
it was definitely a bird.
It was Mothman. So
Mothman's the best.
I am definitely wanting to get back into my cryptid style research, and some of the new UFO data that's being presented, I'm really interested in. And I've told it before on here, I used to do a lot of UFO research. It's just the people got so weird and fanatical, and the study, the research, and the scientific side of it, the concept of proof, went out the window. It went from proof to faith, and we all know how I am about faith. We ain't doing that. So I am going to attempt to do some videos on these topics, but we are going to keep those within the realm of research and data only. No faith. Okay? And I know there's a lot of people who's really excited for me to start touching on these topics. And I've tried to think of a very good way to do it, but after releasing the scientific video and hearing some of the great feedback on the scientific method and how I apply it to magic, I seriously think that right there in its own is the way to do it. So, yeah.
I am his daughter. I'm actually the younger of the two. There's also Tina. I'm Halloween. Hello. You will see me in the Discord. I am the queen of emojis. And the chaos squirrel.
Let's see. Is this lovely? No. It is my daughter. Yeah. I'm not sure we will ever get my wife on this stream.
No.
I've told her you guys wanting to meet her. So far, nothing.
Yeah. She's also busy a lot.
She is. She is very busy. I think even right now, I know she's got this playing in the background, but I know she's also working on schools because she's always studying and trying to improve herself as well. So she stays very busy. Proud of her.
Yeah, Baby Yoda is the alien. I'm the Chaos Squirrel. This is my alien.
There's the alien. Yeah. Hopefully we don't get flagged for that. Oh.
Look for pears fruit. I am confused. I don't even like pears.
If you're both in the Discord, you could easily message each other there and share out your emails. Because don't be putting emails up in here, please. Don't. Just go.
I'll send memes. You just don't want it.
Yeah.
Get your tinfoil hats ready. No offense.
No, Onichi, that's exactly why. Because I'll admit, when I moved to the West Coast originally, I was super excited because some of the data that comes off the West Coast is amazing. And I met a couple researchers out there that I really got along with. And it didn't take but like 3 or 4 weeks before me and those two guys met up with basically a UFO cult. And it just got too weird. All three of us we lost interest. And we decided we was going to try and do our own thing. But it was too hard to even stick your toe in the water without running into the tinfoil hats. That's the best way to go with it. That's the nicest way to put it, unfortunately. And that really, as a researcher and someone who loves science, that breaks my heart to see something that can be possibly handled in a very legitimately done way, handled so poorly. And that's actually why so many of these research projects like cryptids, the Mothman, and UFOs have no credibility. It's because of how they're being handled. And for me, that breaks my heart.
And if I sent her a pretty shiny flip-flop to beat you up with, Drake?
She could certainly try.
It wouldn't end well for me, but I could try. Yes, I am a practicing magician. I go by sorcerer as opposed to wizard because it just feels more right to me.
Mm-hmm.
I also do dragon magic. I do baneful magic. I'm dabbling in healing magic. I'm not very good at it. I'm much better at making people hurt than making people not hurt. But it's an experience, right?
Yeah. Yes, she's keeping up the family tradition somewhat.
So. Just causing trouble.
Who knows? One day I may actually, when I finally kick the bucket and turn out as worm food, she may get all my research journals.
Yike. That shit's cursed. Oh, sorry.
What? This is cursed. That is cursed. You ain't happy without a good curse. Give me the coffee.
You're gonna need it.
I might need rum. The way this is going.
Well, I got you a nice decanter for your birthday.
You did.
Also, his birthday's this week. You should wish him happy birthday. He's getting old.
Yeah, look at all that gray up in there.
Yeah, but half that's my fault.
I actually watched this channel, and you can see the channel starting. Not as gray.
Cthulhuan UFO cult.
Cthulhuan UFO cult. I'll be honest, those are two things I've never seen wrapped up in one. I'll be honest. I have met a lot of Cthulhuan style practitioners. I have met a lot of magicians who follow Lovecraft. I do know a lot of UFO researchers who also read some of Lovecraft's works, but I've never seen the tinfoil community and the Cthulhu community overlap. I'm not saying it ain't happening. I mean, anything's possible. I mean, heck, you go to any cosplay event, you'll see pink Darth Vaders. So anything's possible.
That would be me. I love
and there's nothing wrong with it, technically speaking. But
have you seen Hello Kitty Darth Vader though?
I have.
He's so good.
So I mean, as with anything, it would depend on how you approach it. And I mean, technically speaking, if you really think about it, the term extraterrestrial means not of Earth. So
does that make dragons extraterrestrial?
Technically speaking, as long as their origin is not Earth by the strictest definition, then yes. It doesn't necessarily.
Fairies are extraterrestrial.
Yeah, anything.
Gods are extraterrestrial.
Right, because anything not of Earth. So if it's from another plane, that's not from Earth. You see? So if you really, really, really wanted to apply it, you could just start sticking that on everything. Just, it's just like a sticker. It's like, look, you're not from Earth. Bloop, you're an extraterrestrial.
I wonder how Mab would take that if I was just like, hey, so I found out today you're an extra. I'd get smited off.
Oh, yeah.
I would get smited off.
I don't think she'd find it quite as funny as we do. But yeah. So hopefully we can handle the videos and stuff on cryptids and UFOs with some good research mind and skepticism. I do think a good bit of humor should be allowed as well. Like us sitting here joking about dragons being extraterrestrials. I don't think we need to be overly serious, but I do think we need to approach them strictly from a research side. That's one of the things I hope this channel encourages is more research and database as opposed to I'm just going to choose to believe it. And where did you even find a football?
Over there. That's what hit your foot earlier.
I didn't even know I had a football.
I think the kids threw it in your yard.
Oh, that would make sense.
And it's football day, apparently. I saw that on the news that it was football day.
Oni-chan, happy early birthday. There is a show, Travel Channel. Ancient Aliens. Hey, Oni-chan, thank you very much. American Vampire Hunters called Americans. I've seen the title, the Vampire Hunter ones. I've not necessarily watched it yet. It might be interesting. Though, I'll be honest, a lot of those factual vampires, they actually do a really horrible job. I've worked with the vampire communities and stuff, and those end up disappointing me. Ancient Aliens, I haven't seen it in a long time. I used to watch it actually, when I came home from a surgery, that was the only thing I could watch that didn't make me laugh so hard my stitches hurt. So I really kind of enjoyed the dry humor there. Though Ancient Aliens, at least when I watched it, man, they did not do a good job. They really did. Almost every line is like, we're not saying this is aliens, but clearly it's aliens. It's like,
then you're saying clearly.
No, that's not how data and research works, mate. So I know the friends who visited me while I was healing up there was like, why are you watching this when clearly you just spend the whole time yelling at it? And it's like, I enjoy yelling. It's therapeutic. She heard me talking to a skillet in the kitchen today, so.
Alien star family is watching over their star children on planet Earth. Arcturians, Phygians, Rons, Draconians, etc. Interdimensional guides.
Yeah, there are metaphysical practitioners who follow the theories that humans are descended from aliens, and that would be a list of the different species that is largely included within that belief system.
Interesting.
So,
Any danger in invoking Lucifer before any other upper entity? What about Odin? Does he have time for little people like me?
I would evoke, not invoke, especially if you've not worked with them before. But I mean, okay, here's the thing. We try to take entities and put them on different levels. The fact of the matter is you got entities and you got entities. It's a straight line. So if you find an entity, you're working with this entity and you're enjoying working with this entity and you trust this entity, would you stop? Then invoking is a choice. The way one of my mentors put it, it's like sitting down in a room and having a cup of coffee, even if it's an intimate conversation, is one thing. Jumping into bed to do the horizontal polka, that is a far more drastic thing and takes a bit more consideration. So evocation is the conversation. Invocation it's basically sex with an entity in a lot of ways, because you are literally sharing space. You're inviting that energy into you, and there's no way that an invocation is not going to have an effect on you. Period. You will take on some form of aspect or fingerprint of that entity in some way. Depending on how strong the invocation is or how long it lasts, will determine how long that alteration to your energetic body lasts. Think of it kind of like a handprint in the sand. The deeper it is, the more pronounced it is, the longer it's going to last. Of course, conditions can change it and wash it away quicker, but if the conditions are correct, it could last almost permanently. This is why I personally choose to invoke only certain entities, because I'm very picky about who I share energy with in that case. And it has to be an entity I trust. There are magicians who their primary thing is invoke. They never evoke, and that's a choice. I'm not going to say one's right or wrong, but there is no entity that by and large is safe or unsafe. All entities are going to have a pro and con situation. There is no entity that is just safe. And that really comes down to the practitioner, what your goals are, what your personality type is, what it is you're willing to do. Because there's entities for me that would be perfectly safe. I know mentors who like, oh, you'll be fine, don't worry about it. It'll be a walk on the beach for you. And then there's entities that they're like, no, you and that entity is not going to get along. Don't even try it. You'll get in trouble. And that's because there's a lot of things on a harsh level that, to me, that's a Tuesday. But then there's certain subjects and topics or viewpoints where I get a little stubborn and I might shoot my mouth off. Maybe. I've been known to be outspoken. And that can occasionally get me in trouble with some entity. So it really is a personal thing. There is no hard, set, easy line there. Unfortunately, Violet Star. Me personally, I have enjoyed working with Lucifer when I did. I had a lot of fun working with him. He's always been a straight shooter with me. He's dealt very straight, always told me the truth, always given me great advice. And I don't work with him as much as I do other entities. That is true. But anytime I get a chance, it's like meeting an old friend. It's always great to see him.
How do we open a dimensional gate or portal? You can use sigil gating. It's probably the easiest.
I mean, if you're talking like 1-2 step through astral travel or soul travel, yeah, you can use a sigil gate or something similar. If you're talking about from a physical standard, we don't know. No one's done it.
It'd be cool though. I can only imagine what I'd be like in another dimension.
Anthony, what do you think about people who have alien chips in themselves help with telekinesis and things like that? I've never seen any proof of that at all. I really have not. I have interviewed a lot, and I do mean a lot of people who have claimed that. First off, they've not been able to show any shape, form, or sign of anything remotely resembling telekinesis at all. The closest anyone came was the ability to wiggle a flame, and he could only do it as long as you didn't put a mask in front of his nose because he was using his breath to do it. That's not pyrokinesis at all. That's you breathing on the flame. And secondly, after you pursue it with x-rays and whatnot, you can easily find out there's no unidentified ships either. And the few chips that weren't medical, or the few pieces of metal that weren't medical and accounted for in their medical files, mind you, were actually stuff that was, I mean, you see them in childhood injuries, shrapnel and whatnot from nails or playgrounds that just go under the skin. They get lost and no one ever took it out. It's a splinter. It happens all the time. I mean, my generation's well known for it because we were idiots. And most of these people actually do generally tend to fall within my generation. Sad to say. So, as to what I think, I have not seen any proof of its actual existence. Therefore, I think it's misidentification at best. And in some cases, it's possibly people seeking attention. But I do think it is still an area that deserves attention and research, because if it's out there, it needs to be given the credibility and at least the attention to find that data and that proof. Pretty simple.
That's one way to train balance. Is that because I was balancing the football on your head?
Probably.
I put it down.
Oh, no, real vampires are nothing like Dracula at all. You are absolutely right.
People are walking around with knives. Why?
Oh, dear
You
God.
want to kill a vampire? They're just people.
Oni-chan, that show's just, I'm going to have to review this now. Because it sounds like something I'm going to be screaming at the TV at, Oni-chan. I will, thanks. I'm going to take a look at that.
I mean, you were screaming at the TV during that cooking show we were watching earlier. You just kind of scream.
I'm a very expressive individual.
I mean, so am I when I'm flipping people off while driving. I'm not sure it's necessarily a good thing.
You always know where I stand. You don't have to question what Drake thinks. Let's see. Was Lucifer one of the Watchers? Okay, now this depends on how we're using the term Watchers, because there are different Watchers titled throughout mythology. Now, in Christian mythology, when we're talking about the Watcher Angels, that is a very specific group. And I'd say 99% of the time, Lucifer's name is not mentioned amongst that group of angels, because the Watcher Angels held a very different position than what Lucifer was. And Lucifer did choose to leave the celestial realms and do his own thing. That is true. And they also chose it, but it was for two separate reasons, technically speaking, in most mythology. However, outside the mythology, we get into what actually defines the Watcher Angels, because the Watcher Angels as a category is largely based within Judeo-Christian Jewish religious mythos. And we don't really see a group of entities like this in most other mythologies. And anytime I have sat down to talk to them, Lucifer claims he is his own individual. He does his own thing for his own reasons, and he doesn't particularly claim any single group. That statement alone kind of places me into the bag that no, he does not wish to be placed as a Watcher Angel or considered amongst them. Groovy. You don't want to label. I ain't giving you a label, bro. And then we get to Azazel. Azazel is clearly named amongst the Watcher Angels. Very, very clearly. And he doesn't seem to label Lucifer among them. And as far as the Watcher Angels, he has clearly stated that the mythos and the legends are drastically also misrepresented, that him and the group of angels that were known as Watcher Angels, their reasons, their job, and all these things were largely misunderstood, but they also were not necessarily, they weren't punished. They actually, like I said, they chose to leave. So it gets real murky in there a lot of times, because we got to be careful with the whole religious biased viewpoints and translations. It gets muddy as it can be.
So that question doesn't get missed. But do we open them in a path working on the spot, or do we place a similar object in the physical plane and travel through them astrally without doing anything to open them? You have to open it.
You have to open it. There's, okay.
I mean, your astral body can certainly try to go through.
You can draw something, and if you draw a symbol and you don't empower it, it does nothing. It does nothing. I know we love to pretend like it's a horror movie,
It'd be
and
the equivalent of me going,
right, that's essentially it. Just because I have a runic circle here with a Volk knot, if you purchase one of these and put it up, it is a beautiful tapestry.
I definitely hit that wall harder than I thought I was going to.
Not surprised. But now, if I was to utilize this and I was to project energy into it and intent, I could use this as an access point to the 9 realms and even beyond into the web of the weird.
Ooh.
Because it's the intent more than the symbol that matters. Like sigils, there's no such thing as a true sigil. When we look up a sigil, that is a representation of a sigil that is, honestly, it's most popularly agreed upon. You can make your own sigils for an entity. You don't have to go searching for them.
If you're like me, you are lazy and you will not go searching for them.
So there is that. We're getting into those deep philosophical questions tonight.
I'm an expressive and passionate watcher. Gotta start using that. Nice.
Let's see. What about the Nephilim? The Nephilim, that's actually quite interesting because, yes, in many of the stories, it does say that the Watcher angels came down to the earth and did take wives
Human
among
wives.
humans. So the contact between the spiritual and the physical is documented there. However, we also must understand that many of the writings at this time are very poetic. And the concept of spiritual husbands and spiritual wives is not new. So to say they took wives doesn't mean that they took a physical wife. And we also don't know what it means by the children, because it could very well be that the children were those who were educated, taught in this information of smithing and other things, these things that were viewed, at least by the text, as divine knowledge. The children could just be the people who that information was shared to, and the people who were willingly to accept it and willing to follow and learn in those ideals. That is a very big possibility. Every time I see concepts like, giant skeletons found and stuff like this, I always look it up because I find that stuff fascinating. But unfortunately, so far, every Nephilim skeleton, every giant skeleton, or the like, is just vegetation that looks like something. I mean, you see it all the time on a lake with leaves or something. They'll just form up into what looks like a shadow. And once you actually dive in there with the geological research and you find out what the makeup of it is, you find out it's not fossilized bone at all. It's usually packed vegetation, usually. I won't lie, there's part of me, I still hold out hope that we find one. I really do.
Cool.
I do. I really think that'd be cool. But at this point in time, I truly do believe it's more spiritual because we haven't found it. And I'm really hoping we do find one. I really do, because I want to make that jump from there. But again, I'm a data person. Now, there are people who are dead set they believe it's 100%, and that the flood itself also helped wipe out the Nephilim. Well, again, science kind of comes in, and when you look at the flood, there's not evidence of a large global, earth-shattering, destructive flood.
No,
There's
some evidence of flooding in certain areas that would jump up to the level.
Yeah, there's
described,
large
but
global flooding where areas of the known world to the civilization flood, definitely. And even migration patterns don't support it. So when you start breaking that all down, it kind of gets in there. But I still hold out hope that we'd find it. I mean, I'm a Norse practitioner. Y'all know I want to find a Jotun skeleton. Come on. And the same thing with the Nephilim, because the Nephilim could, in some respects, if you think about it, tie into largely what the Azure, the Jotun, and the Vanir are often talked about.
I'm still holding out for a jackalope.
I know, right? I'm a southerner.
So
you know
cute.
I'm holding out for a jackalope.
He's so cute. Did you just have to do it?
So yeah, I always find it interesting to see how those may go. Would it be best getting to know a draconic ruler specifically? The first 4. Okay, so that's actually pretty easy. If you're not taking the Dragon Magic 101 over at the school, what you want to do before you really start working with the rulers resources, you want to make sure you find your guardian dragon, which we have a meditation here on the channel for. We have a video to do the ritual, and we have a guided meditation, I believe.
Yep.
And then you're going to, after you actually take the time to bond and get to know your guardian, then you want to go meet your co-magician. This, where the guardian's a young dragon up to from 500 years old to 1,000 maybe, and they don't really get much larger than a love seat. Most of them, they're going to be about the size of this little guy. They're going to be little tiny guys, house cat size, small dragons. The guardian dragon or the co-magician is going to be far older. This is someone who's got anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 years working as an actual dragon within an element. They've got thousands of years experience in a specific element or more.
And they're usually cranky.
Yeah. And then they choose to leave the elements and become a non-elemented dragon in order to teach and to aid. So you need to find that co-magician, and then you need to build that friendship. You need to get to know them. This took me a while because my co-magician's a cranky son of a bitch. Love him to death. And honestly, I couldn't imagine my life without him. I really couldn't. But he can be cranky.
Mine's just sick of my cranky at all times.
I feel mine has that opinion a lot. But once you have that co-magician, then you can move in and begin to work with one of the rulers. And I think there's a video on the co-magician on the channel.
I don't know, but there are definitely videos for the first 4 rulers.
I'm
try not to punch above that, though. Didn't work out. Halloween's making me crack up with Baby Yoda. Thank you. Starting entity to work with. Most of the Norse ones.
A lot of the Norse ones are really great to work with. The big name ones, anyway. Some of the more less named ones are not generally viewed as pleasant to work with. Some of them can be actually quite destructive. Any of the Norse ones are pretty good. I actually, personally, if you don't mind working with what people call demonic, because demonic and angelic really, it's horseshit.
Same difference.
I love the Goetic spirits. I find them to be a very easy spirit to contact. And by and large, anything that is viewed as a deity or a god, because this is a label we put on them. These are entities that are very used to working with people. So if you find a deity that you relate to very well and you're interested and you connect with, I would reach out to them.
And like the Greco-Romans are not necessarily the same. So the Roman gods and the Greek gods cover like the same areas, but like the 2 different names are 2 different deities. Because I get along with Diana, I don't necessarily get along with Artemis. So like there's that there, and they do have slightly different personalities, but those ones are also pretty good. Don't know much about the Celtic deities. Fae, you have to learn their rules. So that might be a little bit harder for starting out. Describe some. Okay.
Let's see.
And it's skipped.
Yeah, let's see. Can you talk about Comeg, Arcane Sight class? He said lavender could help, but in different ways than dragon's blood, but didn't elaborate any thoughts. Well, when it comes to relaxing, lavender can be amazing. Now, a lot of people, when we think lavender, we think sleepy time. Let's go to sleep.
I think of flowers.
But, well, lavender is a flower, so that would make sense. But lavender can also be very, very helpful for, let's say you're just wound up, you're excited, you've been having a very busy day, or you've been dealing with your daughter. So, your adrenaline's up, you've been laughing, you've been having a good time, and you need to get into ritual, but you can't calm down to get your focus. Lavender tea is one of those things that it's mild enough to calm you down, but not necessarily put you to sleep. So it can be very, very helpful for arcane sight work because it does help calm you in, get you close to that trance state, which as you do your meditations to enter allows you to slip into it very easily. Because of this, a lot of people do associate lavender with psychic work. And that could be very well what they're talking about. Me personally, I love to mix the two because you got that dragon's blood concept where it boosts what you're already using. So if I'm using dragon's blood incense and lavender incense, I'm doubling up. But me personally, when I use lavender, I go with the tea. I'll be honest. I prefer to make a nice lavender or mint tea and utilize that. Though I do say if you have trouble staying awake in meditation, definitely go to lavender. It's far more mild than mint. Mint will put you to sleep quicker. So
That explains why I used to sleep so easily when I'd have mint tea at bedtime.
There
I just
you
use
go.
it to help my stomach.
yeah. So hope that helps a little bit.
Mint is peppermint
Hope
is my
scientists
tea.
find dragon fossils one day. That'd be really, really cool. That would be really cool. I know there's a lot of people out there that's wondering if like what we call dinosaur fossils are just misidentified dragons. And honestly, I've spent a lot of time in museums looking at dinosaur fossils because I was a major dinosaur nerd as a kid. Y'all have no idea how much I enjoyed when Jurassic Park came out when I was young. Showing my age right there. And yeah, I don't think it's a misidentification. Completely different critters. But I would actually love to see that. I do know from talking with the dragons, there's at least points in human history where dragons of size that would, well, not destroy the area around them, did physically inhabit the earth. As to whether or not they were ever died in any way that would leave remains, therein lies a question. Would they leave remains? Because their skeletons aren't technically the calcium bone style structures that we're used to either. So that raises the question, would they even leave remains? I don't freaking know. I still think it'd be cool.
Do non-physical beings like dragons reproduce and grow? Yes.
Yes, they do grow. That's actually why, specifically, like you have hatchling dragons. You're not getting near a hatchling.
They're very cute.
Dragons are extremely protective of hatchlings, and then they will start to study and learn. And by the time they're 500 years old, that's when you get into that guardian dragon stage. And part of their education is to learn to understand other things. And this is actually why they become guardians. They have not specialized in any element at all. That's why guardians have no element. And part of their education is to go out, take what they've learned, help us, and learn about us in turn. And there's always a watcher that always is protecting the guardian. That watcher has jack shit to do with you. It's all about the guardian. It's all about the guardian dragon. Now, if you try to hurt that guardian dragon in any shape, form, or fashion, that watcher's job is to take you out. That is its job.
Sometimes you'll see guardians will babysit the little itty bitty.
Yeah, you will see also.
So you might see like those flitter around, but you can't.
You will
touch
see
them.
the very small ones. The guardians oftentimes are babysitting those as well as working with us. And that's the reason guardians are so small. It's because the age category that they are keeps them within that size range. Once they hit 1,000 years old, they actually essentially graduate and move into an element that they choose, and they'll spend the next 1,000 to 10,000 years working within the elements, usually specializing in one or more elements at different times, because they can actually move out. You can take a fire dragon and he can change jobs and essentially become a water dragon. And then when they have enough experience, if they choose, they could then choose to mentor as a co-magician. It's not a requirement that they can choose. So they do actually grow and learn.
Both yours and mine regret their decision every day.
Probably. My co-magician, I've seen facepalm a lot.
Yours facepalmed at me when I tried to astral project here and I fell through the ceiling.
Yeah, me and him still laugh about that.
You're gonna need a entire body pillow made of lavender after this visit. Rude.
Where's that?
Rude.
Where is that? I wasn't.
It's Luna. Where did it just go? There she is.
Luna Drake's going to need it. Oh yeah, Luna. I may very well need it. Either that, or I may just pass out from exhaustion. We'll see.
I'm just like a human Energizer bunny.
We were talking about just what we were going to do and the fact that we have a few days to get it done before she has to leave. And she just kept tagging on. I was like, and where are we going to put this? And she's like, oh, yeah. I was like, and you wanted to? Oh, yeah. She's like, we only have so much.
I want to go to the shooting range, and I want to go to the museum, and I have to get a class, and we have to film a video, and I film another video, and I also want to watch the entirety of this series, and I also want to watch the entirety of that series. And then I got confused.
Right.
And I'm
it's like, unless she has a time machine, we can't do this in 4 or 5 days. It just ain't happening.
Entire body pillow with a waifu on it.
Let's see. What? Lavender body pillow with a white. Oh Lord.
That.
Oh Lord. Um. uh, this is horrid. I shouldn't say this. Screw it. I have actually joked about getting one of those. I guess you call them wifey. I don't even know what they're called. Just to put on my wife's side of the bed when she's on deployment, because it's weird. Because even when she's on deployment, I do sleep on her side because it's her side, and it's weird because I wake up at night while she's gone, and even though she's not there, it makes me think of her. So, and now that she's home, it's been months actually now. But I still wake up at night and look over, and she's just there, just snoozing away in her little Seffy way, and that's awesome to see her there now. So I have joked about getting one of those to throw on her side while she's gone.
Half my bed's devoted to stuffed animals.
I couldn't do that.
Well, I only sleep on the one side of my bed, and then I have like a collection of squishmallows and squishables that takes up the entire other side of my bed.
See, does the area in which you work in matter when developing astral sense? I want to work with demonic, and I read a lot about it, and in some books it says you need to develop a different type of sense. No, again, entities are entities are entities. I knew that a lot of paths and everything want to kind of divide and slice up and make things sound very specialized, and it also helps to sell books. But your arcane senses and your astral senses, if I can see an entity, I can see an entity. It's not that difficult. Angels, demons, gods, it doesn't matter.
The dragons on the couch heckling us.
Yeah, I mean, this one here, there's at least 2 dragons in the house that I've not ever told her about. She ran into one of them today playing a joke on her.
Scared me.
So she actually came down to ask about it, and I didn't even have time to respond before my wife's like, "Oh yeah."
Little black cat size dragon just running around in the hallway upstairs, making me think it's haunted.
And hearing is hearing, so yeah, you don't really have to worry about that kind of stuff. If you develop your arcane senses, they will work across the board. That's actually what I mean when I talk about the science of magic and me teaching the framework and the fundamentals, because that framework that I'm teaching and trying to teach in a logical, practical way, it's literally like the framework of a building. That is the required framework, whereas how you build the building around the framework, that can be customized infinitely. And the framework will work no matter how you build the building.
Keto chow?
Yeah, it's basically electrolyte drops for when I'm doing my fasting and stuff, so I don't get leg cramps.
Okay.
Let's see. Duct tape and a rope drink works wonders. It's tempting. I'm not lying. Well, I don't think we need to worry about the exact definitions. I mean, y'all know what I'm talking about when I mention them. So, let's see, Luna, I'm gonna have a face palmando. Hey, nothing.
I didn't break it, I swear.
You almost knocked your pop over. Please don't destroy my desk. I have to work here.
If you heard a crash in the background, it's me. Please ignore it.
And yeah, never apologize for being a nerd. Never.
We're nerds. I bought a pink lightsaber today that's battle ready, so I can actually hit things with it and it won't break. And it's gonna be pink.
See what I mean? And I actually have a Mando helmet over here. So, yeah. I'm not going to redo the armor until I finish losing weight, though. Then I'm going to redo the armor. Oh, Lord.
It even coordinates with my outfit. You see? Oh, wait. You can see this? I can see, I swear.
I bet. So yeah, no, don't worry about that. No worries, no worries. The main reason I try not to talk about some of the nerd culture a bit more because I'll be honest, it just takes over the streams, and next thing you know, you ain't talking about anything productive. You just nerded out. So nothing wrong there.
It just keeps falling forward.
That's because it's designed to fit on my big old head. On the road to so many bad sides of TikTok. You are definitely going to end up.
How am I on the bad side of TikTok?
I'll explain later. I'm not allowed to explain on here.
I got caught in my glasses.
The helmet needs dusted bad.
Yeah. It's fine. I needed a shower tonight anyway.
But I am actually looking forward to covering some of these topics. I know I've avoided them for a while, but I'm actually kind of excited to get back into researching because I think, honestly, and I may regret making this statement, but I think I have found my people. You all understand my practical approach. You understand the fact that I seek results. I seek data. I seek proof. You all understand that I'm not a faith-driven person.
I almost got the hat on Grogu.
And because of that, it excites me to know that I could actually look into this stuff, share my thoughts with you all, and you all understand my perspective and where I'm coming from, as opposed to the almost cult-like following some of these people come at where they start screaming at me because I won't believe it just because it's unidentified. And as I have jokingly said on this channel before, if I take a bag of dog crap and throw it across the street, someone takes a photograph, but they don't know what it is, that's a UFO. It's an unidentified flying object. And I will openly admit there's a lot of weird crap that cannot be explained. That does not make it automatically an alien. So when I started this channel, I don't think I ever expected it to grow to the way it has. And you all have been so encouraging and so understanding of my methods and my philosophies and my approach to trying to understand this. And apparently, many of you have said that my approach has even helped you. So I'm actually really excited to get back into cryptids and stuff and share with you all because I think I found my people. I think y'all's just as crazy as I am, but you still require a little bit of proof, or at least understand that I require proof. And I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Let's see what else. Oh, so my birthday is actually in a few days. We did say that there was going to be a big how do you do if we hit 10K before February 18th, which is my birthday. That's when I get older. It does not look like we're going to hit that. However, guys, we are almost at 10K. Can you believe that? This channel is closing in on 10K. I don't think we're quite at 800. I don't think we're at 9,800 yet, but we're closing in on it. I'm still completely baffled by that one. Your all's support for this channel, the conversations and live stream, it's been amazing. Let's see. How do you not piss off a fire elemental?
Yeah.
The question would be, what are you doing to piss it off? Fire elementals are not just naturally angry beings. They are intelligent beings. They have personalities. You can talk with them. I can't say I've never pissed one off, but there's a reason I say approach any entity with respect and understanding and talk to it and get its point of view. Because if you're trying to get its point of view and seek a point of understanding, you're usually pretty unlikely to piss them off. Now, if your first act when meeting an entity is, I demand you listen to me and become subservient to me, you know what? You'll piss me off. And the last person who said that, I broke his nose and his jaw. And I ain't sorry about it. In fact, if he came over, said it to me again, I'd break his nose, jaw, and knee.
This compass is pretty garbage.
It is a garbage compass.
Every way I turn it, it just says, like, this is north. Now that's north.
Yeah.
Now that's north. Now this is north. Only one can be north.
That's a functional compass.
How do I open it?
Seriously? Just pull it. Just pull it.
I don't want to break it.
Do you want me to open it?
No.
The compass is beating her, people. See what we got here. We're actually getting ready, closing in our 5-minute mark. Let's see. Oh, did you give up? No. Let's see. Hey, Scott, good to see you, mate. When is your birthday? My birthday is actually February 18th. So it's when she said it's coming up, she really meant it. So actually, one of the main reasons she decided to come home and visit right now was my birthday. See how many more gray hairs she gave me. Drake, I really love your approach because it's technical and not biased, because other practitioners on YouTube are just some worshippers of ex-deity or cultists like in the movies. You know, and I try not to use the term cultist but when you're focused on a path, okay, you do have a bias. You do. And I won't say I'm non-biased, because when it comes to dragons, I'm pretty pro-dragon, let's be honest. I love the guys to death. They've been great to me. But at the same time, when asked, should I work with dragons, I can't think of anyone that wouldn't benefit from it, but I also can think of people who might not be good with dragons, because dragons, they're really pro get your butt in gear. And if you're not pro get your butt in gear, you might have a hard time working with them. So I do try to at least measure expectations. So I do appreciate that. I try to do that. And I try to do that with any entity, including the Norse, because they're very, you're responsible for you. The gods of the Norse pantheon, they're not really gods that want to do things for you. They're gods that want to teach you to do for yourself. And they don't really do well with someone who doesn't wish to be self-sufficient. So I try to examine myself and avoid my own biases, because I'm sure I have them. I'm sure I do. In fact, my admin know this in the Discord server. I am harsher to the admin than the members because, well, my admin are my admin. I adore my admin, and I do expect a lot of them. I trust them, but at that same rate, they know I expect more of them. So, yeah, I'm a little harsher on them.
I'm one of them.
And it also,
can confirm.
And I've told them part of the reason I am so harsh is because I do trust them, and I'm also trying to avoid a bias, because I spend a lot of time talking to my admin, and I have come to know them well. Most of them are like family. I mean, and of course, as she said, there's this little chaos squirrel, so she is definitely family.
Why is 10 pounds so heavy?
Because you're so tiny.
Don't like it.
I can put more weights on it.
How? How do you put more weights on this style? It's not even a bar.
I have that style over there. Over there by the coffee table, goofball.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, but I do try to keep it in the technical space as much as possible to avoid as much bias as possible. But I also have to identify my own human element. And because of that, I'm not perfect. Let's see. Thank you. That's Jade. And now please do not hit me with that. That will go through a concrete wall.
I have your hat.
Yes, you have my other hat on. One of my other hats, anyway.
Yeah. Your cane just wasn't where it was supposed to be, so I grabbed it. Hatception.
Hatception.
It was a functional compass. Not anymore.
Yeah, I know. I was like, she's going to hit me with this thing. Okay, everyone. Jade is officially throwing the clocks at us. Man, this went by fast tonight.
It's because I was here messing around.
Yeah, you were here messing around.
Not even as much as usual.
Everyone, this has been great. I've enjoyed the questions, and it's amazing to see you all because it's like I can actually see how you're growing by the questions you all are asking. You guys start off asking these questions, and they're good questions, and then over time, you're just slowly starting to ask that next level question, and that is amazing to see that. So thank you very much. And super chat! I even forgot to tell about those. Thank you for answering my questions. Namaste. Hey, Howland, thank you very much for the super chat, and you're very welcome. Hopefully, we'll see you again in another live chat. We do these every week. It's so great to see everybody.
I don't know why I thought you were going to say another life.
That just sounds a little rude.
So you
could you imagine me putting you on the plane, seeing another life? What the hell?
As the plane's taking on me, and I'm like, no!
That's when I become very religious, is when that plane takes off. Okay, y'all don't know. I'm afraid of flying, but one of my first times flying, there was a religious girl sitting by me, and I'm trying, and she's all calm. And I was like, oh, okay, well, this, if she can handle it, I can handle this, clearly. They start to rev that engine up. We're starting to head down there. I'm just starting to relax. Okay, I've been white-knuckled this whole time. I'm just starting to relax. Out of the corner of my eye, I see this little girl. I'm like, oh, hell no! You were the calm one. You were my anchor.
Because she was praying.
Well, if we're safe, there's no need for that. So yeah, that I didn't sleep that fight.
Meanwhile, I'm like, man, I want to go skydiving. And have you ever seen those shows where they have like the showgirls and they stand on the wings of the planes and then the planes do this? I really want to do that. I think it'd be so cool. I would fall off. Like, let's be real. I'd fall off that plane, but I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool. I don't know what happened to my voice there.
It broke a little. But anyways, this has been a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing you all next week. And I have been actually thinking about what I'm going to do with the live streams when I am occupied, because I will be in the middle of a move, may not have internet. And I am actually looking at, God help us all, letting her run a live stream on her own.
What's up, boys? Y'all can deal with me for an hour.
That will be...
when the Puritan... Luna! Luna!
Hey, don't break my new chair.
Grogu's upset at you.
We are so getting hit for copyrights. All right, everyone, you have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all next week. Take care. Bye-bye and bye-bye. See, I had to say it twice. You gave me two hats here.